Ruth and welcome back to my channel, So Dysfunctional. It's been a really long time since I put out a video. June has been a bit of a strange one for me, but I'll tell you a bit more about that later. I'm going to hop straight into some positive sewing news though, in that I made a dress and here it is. So a lot of you will probably know that the sewing weekender went online this year. I was really excited about that because I've never been able to go to the actual live event. I've never even tried to get tickets because I've not been free, but I've always wanted to go. And so when I saw it come up that they were doing it online, I was so excited, and I managed to bag sort of a day and a half over the weekend. My husband looked after the kids. I just came upstairs, shut my door and sewed and watched all the stuff. I mean, it was brilliant. I had such a nice time, and it was really nice to focus my brain on sort of just one thing. As usual, I sewed really slowly, so I didn't finish my dress during the weekend, but I finished it the week after. I'm going to pop in a twirl of me wearing it and possibly some pictures, but of course since I finished it the weather has been horrible, so I haven't actually worn it yet because it's been wet and cold and I haven't really wanted to wear it. So hopefully the weather will cheer up enough before I get this video out and I'll get some pictures as well, but I should also put a twirl, so I'm just going to hold it up because I'm not wearing it obviously. So here's my dress, and I made this out of the beautiful Ruby Star Society fabric that I bought from Sew Me Sunshine in May, I think it was, and this was what I was planning to make with it, and I actually did it, which is quite unusual for me. So I was really pleased with how this came out. I'll tell you in a minute about what I did with the alterations to the pattern and things, but oh, have I said what the pattern is? No, I haven't. It is the Fleur pinafore dress from Untitled Thoughts. Now what I will say about this fabric is I absolutely love it. I thought cotton was just cotton, but I was wrong because this sewed so beautifully. It handles really nicely. I just am so pleased with how the pleats kind of sit. It was an absolute dream. It was so easy to work with. I could not believe it. Yeah, so if you fancy treating yourself and you see some of the Ruby Star Society cotton come out and you like the print, I would absolutely get it because it was so lovely. I'm definitely going to be getting some more. So the Fleur is designed to have, sorry, it's actually that easy to hold up because of the straps. It's designed to have a bib at the front and the back. I twirled the fit with just a front and a back bib and the waistband and straps. And just from doing that, when I did it, it was sort of slightly warmer. I felt like it was going to make me too hot having sort of the bib coverage front and back, because obviously you need to wear a top underneath it. And it just felt a little bit kind of, yeah, a bit uncomfortable and a bit close. So I decided to, instead of doing that, I decided to just do the straps crossing over onto the back. And that took a little bit of pattern fiddling and making sure that I found the right place to put the straps on the back for it to cross over nicely on me. But I think I did that relatively successfully. The other thing I did from the toile was I took a little wedge out of the bib piece. So it's meant to be a rectangle, but I found that when I put that on me, it was standing off quite a lot like that. And I mean, I guess a pinafore will do that anyway, just because of it's not, you know, it's not darted and it's not fitted, but it was really annoying me. So I don't know if you can actually see that it's curved, but I just pinned out a little wedge and did the same on the pattern. So the bottom of the bib and the top of the bib are slightly curved and the sides go in slightly. I don't think oh no, but I think maybe I did. I think I did that to the pocket as well so that it matches. So yeah, so it curves in a little bit on the pocket as well. And I think I liked the way that looked a bit better. Did I make any other changes to it? I don't think I did. Got these nice little buttons that I got from Ribbon Moon, and these lovely big pockets, and I did can see if I get the camera close enough. Actually, that one's better because it's not got any pattern on it. I did little triangle corners on the tops of all the pockets, including the bib. So when I cut it out, also from toiling it, I decided that I wanted it to sit a little bit higher up on me than my natural waist. So it sort of sits a little bit closer to an empire waist on me, really. And as a result, I then had to cut the skirt pieces a bit longer. So I didn't actually have much fabric left at the end. I started out with 2 meters of fabric, and I thought it was going to take about 1.5, but it took a little bit more than that. And so when I was about to start sewing it, I hadn't cut out the pocket on the bib, and I suddenly thought, this is really stupid because I've only got a little bit of fabric left. I'm not going to be able to do anything else with it, so I might as well do the bib pocket too. And I don't think it's a pocket that I would actually ever use, but I quite like how it looks, and it's all top stitched with the bib as well. So yeah, so I was really pleased with this. I realise it's probably the kind of pattern that some people will just think, it's just not for me. It's kind of a little bit too, I don't know, it's not childish, but it's not a mature garment, is it? But I really, really like it. I don't wear dresses that often, to be honest. And it's a funny thing with sewing. I gravitate to dress patterns and then they just sit in my pattern stash because I don't actually very often wear dresses, so I don't make them up. I was really pleased with this one and I really like it, so I'm hoping that the weather will cheer up soon and I will get a bit of wear out of it. I'm sorry also if the light is really bad. I only got a small window in this room and it is really grey and dull outside today, but I really wanted to film this video today. So that was my dress. So one of the reasons that June was a really funny month for me, I was really hoping to get a lot of sewing done. I had big plans to get lots of things done, and they were kiboshed essentially because of this pattern. Da, da, da! The Indigo by Tilly and the Buttons. I was due to go on the bodice fitting masterclass at the new craft house in April, and obviously that got postponed because of coronavirus. And I was really excited about that because I just find it really hard to fit things to my body shape, and I just really wanted to get a good sort of feel for the adjustments I need to make. But when that was cancelled, I thought, I know, I'll buy the Indigo pattern by Tilly and the Buttons because everyone says it's great and it's loose fitting. I'm not going to need to worry too much about the fit. So I'll have a go at that, seeing as we're sort of stuck at home. And I did buy it, and it did not go well. I spent a week and a half of most of the free time that I managed to carve myself out in a day trying to get this thing to fit. I made 4 toiles of the bodice, and I was nowhere nearer at the end than I was at the beginning. I started out cutting a size 4 for the 36-inch bust, and having made that one up, I decided I needed a small bust adjustment to size it up, but do a small bust adjustment, and I needed to do forward shoulder adjustment. Having done that, I decided I needed to do a narrow shoulder adjustment because the shoulders were like way down here. The sleeves would have been hanging off my arm. I did so many adjustments and I was being really careful, and I was researching all these things online, looking at the fit and thinking I was doing the right thing. And in the end, I'd messed about with moving the shoulder forwards and bringing it in so much that the arm side was just completely wrong. So I spent a lot of time redrafting the sleeve completely, because if you've moved your shoulder points forward, you need to move your sleeve head forward. You need more space in the back and less in the front. I mean, it was enough that the fabric was clearly hanging strangely from the arm side at a strange angle, and it was sort of folding in a weird way. So I basically drafted a sleeve, and even when I'd done that, I don't know, it ended up really big. It was baggy. It just looked horrible. So because of that, I just lost my will to sew. I got really frustrated with it, I kind of kept going up every day with a new optimism and enthusiasm, and a couple of hours later that was squashed back down again. And when I eventually decided that I was just gonna give it up as a bad job and put it away, and maybe I'll come back to it another day, I felt so much better. But I did then really find for a week after that I didn't want to sew. I don't know why, it just really kind of dimmed my will to sew, which is a shame because I had more time in June than I would have normally, because my husband had a bit of time off. So yeah, that was annoying because I had been planning to make a couple of other things, and it just took so much time, and I felt like I didn't have anything at the end of it. And everybody says it's not time wasted, you'll have learnt something, but I don't know, there's a part of me that feels like all I learned was that I don't know what I'm doing. And yeah, anyway, I'm gonna put that to one side because that happened, and that's how it is. What my husband did say as a result of all of that, though, is that one of the things I really don't do is sew things more than once. Once I've made a pattern, whether it goes well or not, I quite often just move on to the next one. And I suppose that's because when you're going shopping, you don't tend to buy, unless you find like the pair of jeans or the perfect basic top, you don't tend to just buy lots of the same thing, do you? But actually, I think he's right. I think what I need to do is make a pattern a few times and make the small adjustments as I go along if I'm not happy with something, you know, and really get used to what fabrics work well with a particular pattern. So to that end, I am making a pledge to myself, and that is that I'm not going to buy any more fabric or any more patterns for the rest of the year. I know. I have got a lot of patterns that I have not used. I've got a lot of fabric that I have not used, as was evident from doing my Show Us Your Stash 2020 video, but I've also bought quite a bit of fabric since then, and I need to stop because I don't need any more fabric. I've got plenty of fabric. So that is my pledge. Unless I want to make something and I really do not have the right thing, I'm not going to buy any more fabric for the rest of the year or any more patterns. Again, unless I suppose I actually need something and I want to make it, then I might look for a pattern. But other than that, I'm using what I've got up here in my fabric and my pattern stash. So wish me luck. It means I'm probably going to have to turn off the notifications on Instagram. I've got quite a few fabric shop notifications because so often they put things up and then they're gone straight away. So if you haven't got the notification telling you that they're up or they're going to put them up, you miss out. So I'm probably going to have to turn those off because even now I still keep looking at things and thinking, oh, but it's so nice and I might not see it again. No more of that for me. So wish me luck on that one. Okay, the last thing I've got to show you is something that I have made for a friend's little girl. Now, of course, it was her birthday towards the end of June. I've missed that because I just didn't want to sew so much. I didn't get around to making it, but I really had planned to do it and I wanted to do it. So I have made her this little top. Is that not cute? I think it's cute. I hope it fits. Oh my God, I hope it fits. So this is just a little t-shirt for my friend's little girl. I used the Brindle and Twig, I think it's the Ringer tee, the free tee pattern. And what I did was I slashed it across the front, sort of halfway down, no, 2/3 of the way down the arm side. And then this piece I just extended, I don't know, about 6 or 8 centimetres, so it's that much wider than the top part. I suppose that technically is a yoke now, I suppose. I gathered it on some clear elastic to then attach it with that gather on the front, and then I just used again, like I did with my little boy's jumper, I used just little remnants and stuff from my stash to make a little bee making its way over to this lovely flower. I also was really pleased because the fabric I had used to make a wren dress, I think that's a Colette Patterns one, although you can get it on the Seamwork thing now because that's also part of the same thing. And that was a complete disaster. I don't know why, but I don't know if you know the pattern. It's sort of it's a wrap bodice and then on a pleated skirt, and it was a complete disaster. The bodice just twisted and it was awful. I ended up trying to remake it, and again, it was one of those things that I hacked at so much that and I was just getting nowhere, that I just consigned to the pile of failures. But there was a lot of fabric in it, and the skirt, because the skirt was just 2 big panels, so there's loads of fabric in it, so I kept it knowing that hopefully I would make something out of it. So the actual t-shirt is made out of that fabric, and then yeah, these are all just little remnants. I used the Heat and Bond stuff for the applique like I did before. I'll link that down below for the video. Yeah, I just had I had a lot of fun with it. Oh, I'd forgotten, I used some interfacing on the inside of the front because I started stitching. It's still a bit wibbly, to be honest, the bees trail. I started stitching that without, and this fabric is actually, I'm not sure whether it's viscose or bamboo, but it's sort of quite drapey and thin and shifty, and the stitching just wasn't sitting very nicely. So I interfaced just this whole panel with some stretch interfacing that I had, which is fine, except I don't know if you can see the sort of bobbles on it. I've got not very smooth skin on my fingers at the moment, and this stuff just catches on everything, so I'm hoping it won't be a problem. It might just end up getting a little bit bobbly and have to cut the bobbles off, but it made stitching the stuff onto it so much easier, and it's actually quite nice and soft, so it should be fine. Yeah, I was really pleased with it. As you can tell, I haven't sent it to her yet, so I need to do that ASAP so that she can open it, and then I can put the video up. I don't suppose her mum will watch the video, but if she does, I don't want her to see it before she's actually received it. So that was it for June, just that dress and the top in the end. Not as much as I had hoped, but you live and learn. My next video will be going up soon, hopefully, and that is going to be a July plans video. I'm hoping that I will be able to get round to most of the things that I would like to do in July, although I have to keep reminding myself that I do things slowly, and that is okay. I'm in the process of sorting out and tidying up my sewing room. You can probably see my new board at the back there. I'm in the process of tidying everything up, and even that, I'm just really slow. But I prefer to do it that way. I think I feel less stressed by it when I do that. The only problem is that I then get a bit frustrated that it's taking me a long time. But I will learn to live with this about me. I do things slowly, and that is okay. So, thank you so much for watching my June sort of roundup. I hope you are all well. Things are changing here again in the UK with the lockdown and everything. My kids are going back to nursery a day and a half a week, which is nice for me, but it's also really nice for them. I think they are going in with big grins on their faces, so I think they're really pleased to be seeing some other people and playing with different toys and reading different books and all that kind of thing. Fingers crossed it is okay and we carry on the up. Please give this video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. Leave me a comment if you've got anything you want to chat about, or any advice on the indigo. Have you had problems with fitting the indigo? Everyone, as far as I can tell, thinks it's wonderful because it's loose fitting and you just make it and it fits and it's great. That is not my experience, so please let me know if you've had to make adjustments and what you've had to do too. Do subscribe if you'd like to know when my next video comes out, and I'll see you again soon, hopefully. Thanks for watching. Bye.